Buying a house for the very first time can seem like a lot. There's a lot of steps, there's a lot of contracts, there's a lot of words thrown out there that you probably don't understand, that it can be pretty tough to follow. Today I want to streamline the entire process so that you are ready to buy a house in 2024. The process begins with a trusted realtor. A good realtor knows the ins and outs of the entire real estate process, and they have the right connections to guide you during every single step. A common misconception that I see is that the people think that they cannot afford their real estate agent. When you are buying a home, you are working with a buyer's agent, and you do not pay the buyer's agent. The buyer's agent is paid for by the sellers and by the listing agent. Your agent protects your money and negotiates on your behalf. The second a seller sees that you are not working with a buyer's agent, they're gonna take advantage of you and they're gonna milk you for everything that you have. Pre-approval. Now, the reason you're gonna need a pre-approval is because I know a lot of you guys have looked on Zillow and you've put it in your mind. You're like, I want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house under $400K because I think that is within my budget. I put it in a mortgage calculator on the website. I think I can afford that, so that's what I'm gonna start looking for. Now, this kind of thinking is backwards, because let's say you had your heart set on $400,000 and you found a dream house, a house that you love, that's about $400,000, and you only get approved for $350,000. Now you can't even afford it. You set your heart on something that you can't have, and now your dreams are crushed. Now you're sad, and you can just avoid all of this by getting pre-approved first and knowing how much money you can afford in a house. After talking with a realtor like me, I will set you up with a trusted lender. Some people may already have a lender. Some people may only trust their bank and working with a lender that comes from their bank, and that is perfectly okay. Chances are that you probably don't have a lender, and I have a phenomenal lending team that can answer every single question that you may have during the entire process. I personally love the lenders that I work with, and I am fully comfortable with sending people over to them because I know that they are in good hands. Now, with your lender, you will submit a buyer application that will ask for some very, very important documents, things like tax returns, some credit history, work history, things like that, things to really dial in how much you can afford in a house. Now, just a word of advice, this step kind of takes most of my people the longest, especially people like first-time homebuyers. And the reason it might take the longest, I know it asks for a lot of documents. I know it might be uncomfortable submitting some of this personal information, but just know the sooner you submit all of these documents, you get past the pre-approval process, the sooner you can actually get into the fun part, start looking for a house, get into your dream home, and submit that juicy, juicy offer. Now the fun part, you're pre-approved and you're ready to shop for a house. You tell your realtor, hey Kareem, I want a 3-bed, 3-bath house. We're pre-approved for up to $450,000. I would love a finished basement. We want a nice backyard. It's not a deal breaker. Just spill it all out there. Spill exactly what you want in a house. We already know your limit. We can set up a search and we can find the perfect place for you. Finally, we searched through so many houses. We see 10, 20, 30, 40 houses in a week. We found one house that you love, your dream house, and you're ready to submit an offer. Now, this is where having a really good real estate agent will save you money, make you happier, and make you just feel better about everything. Now, before we even write that offer, I'm gonna negotiate, I'm gonna knock that price down, hopefully lower your monthly payments. I'm gonna make sure we get everything that you want in that house. When it comes to negotiating contracts, we're not just negotiating price, we're negotiating repairs, we're negotiating what stays in the house, what leaves the house, what we can get out of that house just to make sure everything works for you. Something very important and something very tough is we might be in a multiple offer situation. We might be competing with 10, maybe even 20 different offers, and having a good real estate agent like me who's been in situations like this, we know how to get out of that situation. Because most of the time when you're in a multiple offer situation, it's not just who submits the most money. It's not as easy as that. Sometimes it's who wrote a cleaner offer, who do I think can get it to the closing table, who negotiated better terms, who did things that I personally like, things that I would like for my seller. Those are things you're gonna need in the contract, and these are not things you can learn on the fly. This is something your real estate agent is gonna have to know and able to win offers in situations like this. And now we have closing. Closing is typically a 30-day process in which we make sure the house not only works for you, but it works for the mortgage company. Now, during these 30 days, there's so many dates, deadlines, contracts, all of this to keep track of that it's gonna be hard to keep track of, which is why your realtor will advise you on everything, keep track of everything, and make sure you are high and tight during the whole process. Now, out of all of these dates, deadlines, contracts, there are 2 very important things during closing that I wanna talk about. The very first one is inspection. We hire an inspector to go out and take a look at everything in that house. They look in every single nook, every single cranny, corner, under, over, everything. They look at that house and they make sure you know exactly what you're getting into. Old heaters, leaky pipes, wiggly outlets, anything that might be an issue, they are going to find it. They're going to submit it in a report and make sure that you know it before we move further into closing. Another very important item during closing is appraisal. We send an appraiser to go out there, check the value of the home, and this is for your mortgage company. So with the mortgage company, your house is seen as collateral. So let's say you submit an offer for $400,000. We send the appraiser out there and he's like, you guys, this house is only worth $375. Your mortgage company is only going to lend you $375 because that's what the house is worth. That's the collateral that they're using. So this can be a huge deal breaker in a situation like this, where you're gonna have to come up with a $25,000 difference. And the reason this is very, very important, the reason this can be a deal breaker, is because if you can't afford to have that $25,000 or just cover the gap in the appraisal, you could lose out on the whole deal. This is yet another reason during the whole process that having a really good real estate agent, someone that ran a competitive market analysis, someone that can see the value of the house before they submit an offer so that they know that their offer is right around where the value of the house is, so they know that the house will appraise around that offer, will save you so much time, money, stress, and just make your life so much easier. Now lastly is closing day. Now let me tell you guys, closing day is kind of like Christmas morning. Everyone comes in, you're all huddled around the table, you're signing the papers, you're getting everything balanced, you've closed that folder, and you're done closing on that house. They hand you the key, that house is yours, and now you're just feeling amazing. You take pictures, you hug with everyone, you shake hands, you congratulate everyone for getting the deal closed. Everyone worked together, you guys got it done. It is a beautiful, beautiful day, and it's my favorite thing to see. Well, that wraps up pretty much the entire process to buy a house. So I made this a pretty quick video because I just want to make it a brief outline. You're probably gonna have a lot of questions. If you do have any questions about any step during the process, you wanna know what your credit should look like, what your income, debt to income, different things like that to get you approved for a house, please feel free to reach out. You can text me, you can call me, you can email me, you can reach out on social media, you can do whatever you feel fit. I'm Kareem Howard with Coldwell Banker Realty. I will see you guys next week.